interesting session. We had some interesting presentations, first of all, about sort of well-being in different contexts. So I spoke about how sort of unions are working on well-being, and predominantly the work we're doing around trying to get workplaces engaged in learning to empower people, and through the structures that we've helped provide that enable people to carry out freedom of association, collective bargaining, co-production, and work with their employers. And that's part of empowering people, obviously, that we know from all the evidence improves their well-being. Other presentations looked at the evidence base for well-being, so a lot of stuff on internationally, the work that's been done that shows that engaging people, empowering people again is what improves their well-being, and that well-being leads to better work relations, productivity, etc. And another example from Emily on that happening in tea plantations, a case study of working in tea plantations in Sri Lanka as well. I think the discussion afterwards with people here was also really interesting, and a lot of people looking for how exactly do you do some of this at the workplace, and what are the key things that actually help engage and empower people. I think obviously from our point of view, from the union point of view, it's about providing the right structures and opportunities. And the question of the topic today was, is well-being a privilege or a right? And I think we came down very heavily today on the side of it being a right, and that people need to work hard to implement it and work with employers to implement it. The message to the companies is, one, all the evidence is that empowering people and engaging people improves their well-being, and that's good for you as a company. It improves productivity, it reduces sickness absence, it engages people more in doing good work at work, it makes them happier. And second message, I suppose, is that unions play a key role in enabling that to happen, working with employers, and that working against employers or employers working against unions doesn't work. Unions add a dimension to what goes on at work, and whether you have a good employee engagement structure currently, we can make it better. And all the evidence from Union Learn, which is the part of the TUC that I come from, is that learning vastly improves people's confidence, empowers them and engages them at work, and that therefore learning is a key thing, and working with us to improve learning is important, because our union learning reps and the role that our people play is a trusted intermediary. So if you have a skills problem that you're scared or you're worried about talking to your employer about, you can talk to your union about it, and we can help solve it.
Well, I was really impressed by how the conversation, there was so much coalescing around agreement with what the importance of well-being, and how it wasn't a substitute, it wasn't a luxury, it wasn't a replacement of human rights, that actually they synergised together. David, your other interviewee, sort of mentioned that very nicely. Well, actually well-being and rights, they connect, and they overlap, one feeds the other, if you like. So that was really good, because I wasn't quite so aware that the language had sort of moved on, or the thinking had moved on, and particularly in these spaces in supply chains, because in the UK particularly, people are getting it, they realise there's a business case, it's the right thing to do, it's where the societal pressure is going in terms of the way work is viewed. But actually, from this conversation, I can see that message is being put out there, and people are starting to listen to it in supply chains, in international supply chains, where perhaps once upon a time it was considered the ultimate luxury and not even really thought about as something being worthy of bringing into a business. So that was really good. Well, I think if I were to sum it up in one word, empowerment is really the word which everything seems to connect around. Empowerment talks to rights, it talks to well-being, and as I just mentioned before, there is a pressure, there is a direction of travel within society in the way that it views business, that means that simply just bestowing this or that, a little bit extra pay, slightly better working conditions, it's not going to cut it anymore. People actually need to have a level of control over their lives, and a large part of your life is spent in the workspace, and so it has to translate to that as well. So that for me is the big one. It's coming, and so you can either get on, or you're going to be sort of playing catch up.